I have been working on a roleplay game that pits players against each other as they try to move the story in the direction of their own personal goals. So each player will have their goal, whether that's make money or acquire artifact or expose a secret or a conspiracy. And while the characters can choose how they act, they can't really control the story unless they become the games master or GM. To do that, you bid using dice, but you earn dice by making your character behave according to their traits. Maybe you're a coward and you run away from a situation, or you decide to tell a lie because you're too scared of what the truth might be. Then you get a counter and a dice, and you can use these dice to bid for GM. I'd like to tell you some more about the rules to this game now. My name is Matt Stoodley from Storyfeet.com, and you are watching a video. It's called Only a Hammer. That is because when all you have is a hammer, everything begins to look like a nail. And in this game, your character has certain skills, and you're going to want to apply them in as many situations as you can. It's a roleplay game where you take on a character. In this case, I have a character called Stiles Malone. He's a detective. He has the skill Deception Detector, and he is smelly. That's a trait. There are other roles available. For example, we have Commander Slimes here, who is an army commander. He is a swordsman, and he is violent. Your characters take on traits, skills, and goals. For example, Stiles Malone has the following traits, which are assigned at random by drawing these cards. He is loyal to friends. But what makes someone a friend? What shows loyalty? Would you lie for them? What would you do for these friends? He is brave. Nothing scares him, and that will mean he can rush into danger for almost any reason. And he is a rebel, which means he never does what he's told. And he's immune to coercion. There are characters who can make other people do what they want. He is safe from that. Also, he has some skills. He is able to open any door, chest, or lock. He is a swordsman, which means he can win any fight as long as he has his sword. And he is observant, enabling him to spot clues anywhere. What makes this game different to many of the other roleplay games you have seen? The main thing that's different is that this game doesn't have a GM. Everybody earns the right to be GM throughout playing the game. For example, I currently have 8 dice, and there is a secret bidding system where I can choose a number, hide these dice, choose a number of dice, and show like this. And then I bid a number of dice and then roll them. And the highest number gets to be GM for the next period. But of course this costs them their dice. How can you earn more dice? Well, that is by acting upon your traits. If you are loyal to your friends and one of your friends in the story does something which you don't think is a good idea but you cover for them, then you get to put a counter on your loyalty and you earn a dice. The dice are used to earn the role of GM, and these counters can be spent in order to buy skills, which cost 7, or traits, which cost 6. Currently at purchase, dice are worth 1 point and counters are worth 3 when you want to buy something. Every character also has a public goal. In this case, Stiles Malone, he publicly wants to make money. But he also has a secret goal. In this case, head of the clan. So he wants to become head of his family, or or any group that he hangs about with. And you'll have to work that out as you're telling the story exactly what that means. Now, when you are GM or Games Master, what are you supposed to do? Well, you are supposed to find out from other players what they do. And when they're only players, they can only say what they do. They cannot say what they find. They can say that they search, but they cannot say what they find. That is down to the GM. They can say that they fight, but they can't say whether they win or whether other people get involved. They can have a conversation between them and other player characters, but the GM should manage that in some ways and encourage certain levels of direction in that. They can have conversations with non-player characters, and the GM will play the non-player characters in these conversations. But there will come a point when they want to do something and they say what they want to do. The GM's job is to make sure they find out what everybody wants to do in that situation. Once you know what everybody wants to do and all the conversations have played out, you bid to become GM. Everybody bids. The new GM has to say what happened as a result of everybody's set of actions, and then lead the next set of questions. In order to get the story started, we also have a number of scenario cards. So here we have, you're all in a prison cell, and at the beginning of the game you draw the scenario card, and once you've drawn the scenario card, you all bid to be the first GM. And the first GM has an extra lot of work to do. They need to give everybody a chance to introduce their character and talk about who they are and why they are in this prison cell right now, or why they are at this secret meeting, or why they are on this boat trip. They also have to answer these questions themselves, and they are allowed to give whatever answers they like. They can say we are going to this or that island. They can say they are returning home from a long journey. They can make up whatever answer they feel like. But they have to answer these questions just to get things started. Once you have worked out everybody's characters, you then draw an event card. Here we have a clue. Who discovers it? What does it look like? What does it mean? Does it help anyone? Once you see this event card, everybody bids to be the GM, the one who describes this clue and then leads the next portion of the story. The GM is also able to then ask everybody what they do before handing over to another GM, or if nobody wants to do anything, they get to turn over a new event card. And events are how we can drive the story forward if other characters don't want to do things. The GM is free to introduce new non-player characters and to act on their behalf, and once they've been introduced, any other GM can act on their behalf as well. The last kind of cards here we have are the whodunits. And these have one of two options on them. Either not you, or, now there is one card among them that says you done it. Now these cards came about because when we were first playing, we found ourselves in a situation where we'd found a dead body and everybody was blaming everybody else, and everybody believed somebody else had done it, but there was nobody who believed they had done it. So if you end up in a situation where you are not sure it is possible that someone has done it, the GM can deal out these whodunit cards, and then the fact can be established, and this can drive the story in that direction. If you do want to get that game or any other games that I've put on my website for free, you can come to storyfeet.com and choose board games. There's a complete list of games here, and the game is Only a Hammer. Here you will find the complete rules and you'll find some printable cards. Now, I recommend printing these on card. There are 8 pages plus backs with 16 cards to a page. You'll obviously need some dice. You can get 50 dice on eBay for about £3, and some counters to put on the traits. So as I say, do go download the game, have a go. Let me know if you've enjoyed it, and feel free to like and subscribe to find out more about the games that I'm making and progress I'm doing towards these. My name is Matt Stoodley from Storyfeed.com, and you have just watched a video. About gaming.